everybody, Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Coolcraft Season 7. Alright, so let's not dilly-dally at all today, and let's just get straight on with the sacrifice, because we've got things that we need to do, and I don't want to have to come back here later to do this. So, slap down the stuff on the thing, and press the thing, forwarding through it. Oh, what? This has never happened before. That sounds ominous. Unsatisfied. And there's another knowledge book. Well, that sounds bad. What does this knowledge book contain? Interesting. Well, let's circle back to this later, because right now I have to tell you what I did in the last episode. I built this ridiculous gold farm here, but, yeah, last night, as I was AFKing here, something kind of went wrong, and my sword had broken by the time I got back to my computer, and yeah, as you can see, there was a bunch of minecarts stuck, that took up the mob count. I'm just making sure that, minecarts are actually, yeah, okay, we have to do this, because a bunch of minecarts got screwed up here. Hang on, let me just deal with this quickly. But, yeah, so I think I'm gonna have to spend a bit of time at the beginning of this episode fixing this. Also, the piglins are still angry at me because the ones in the minecarts didn't despawn. That's gonna make this quite a bit harder, but I'm also gonna have to get a new sword because, as I said, the sword I was using blocked. So here, let me just explain what was going on a little bit better. So the way this farm works is that you AFK in this area here, and you attack the armor stand under that slab there to attack these piglins. Somehow, this side of the farm broke. Don't know how that happened, and minecarts stopped flowing from that direction, which means that generally, what that should just mean is that piglins stopped flowing in from this direction. But because piglins kept flowing in from the other directions, the piglins over this way weren't getting picked up by the minecarts, meaning that soon the entire mob cap was just over that way. Meaning that no more piglins were reaching me here, and my sword would not be getting mended as it was attacking, so it eventually broke. Which is unfortunate, and I'll have to make a new sword, which means I might need to go back and do some more villager stuff. But more importantly, why the heck did this break? I need to figure that out. Alright, I've developed a design for the new failsafe, so let's jump into a 10-second time-lapse of me building it. Alright, the failsafe system has been installed. It's relatively simple in how it operates. Hopefully this here... Yeah, I'm pretty sure entities will be able to properly fit under this here. In fact, I'm pretty sure I tested this. So, no problems there. So basically, the way that this system works is there's a tripwire right above these rails here. So the minecarts will trigger as they go up. And it will be continuously triggered, causing this pulse extender here to turn off this torch. Now, if the minecarts stop flowing for a very short period of time, and as you can see, that is a pretty short period of time, it will cause this torch to turn on. Now, this torch is linked with a bunch of other torches in effectively an OR gate situation. When any of them turn on, it will come up here and trigger this breaker here, effectively, to shut the farm off. The first thing it'll do is it'll actually extend this block of glass down into basically where the player is AFKing, and actually if we go downstairs here, what it'll do is if the player is standing here like I generally am, it'll cause you to go into, you know, crawling mode. And then, you know, this sign used to be on this slab here. However, that prevented the piston from pushing down and also would have otherwise broken the sign. So I put the sign here, which is actually convenient, because then once you're in crawl mode, you're going to be hitting the hitbox of the sign instead of the armor stand, which will save durability of the sword, which is kind of the whole idea behind this. I do need to add a note block right there, though. I'll do that later. The other thing that happens once this breaker here has been tripped is the farm will be shut off. So this here will open, preventing the, you know, farm is turned on signal from going back down to the turn on system down there, and will also, I guess, allow the door to be opened as long as the sword is returned. Speaking of which, I did have to reroute this is the sword returned circuit here a bit, because it otherwise did mess with this, but it actually turned out fine. It turns out that this actually fits nicely like this. Now anyhow, speaking of that sword, I do need to get a new one of those, because as I mentioned earlier, it broke. So, to the villagers! Alright, here's what we're looking at for the new replacement sword, and also 2 backup swords, because that's what we're doing. And I haven't merged any of these books down yet, because, well, I needed an anvil and a place that has replacement anvils. And also replacement XP, should that be necessary. So, let's get to this. Alright, that didn't take too long, and also only took a couple hundred levels, so, I think this farm is all set to try to be used again, and also we have Smite 5 now, so it should actually be more productive than it was before. Alright, I just got back to the computer after AFKing for the night, and as you can see, the system did in fact fire. We have a bunch of piglins here that probably came from everywhere else but what broke. And unfortunately, I don't know what broke, because it wasn't running replay mod, but the system did work. I didn't destroy the sword. Success, I guess? Although I didn't get back up to 1,000 level. Ooh, well, I think I see where the issue is. Right down there. Okay, so for this next clip, OBS decided that it didn't need to actually change the image that was being displayed in the recording. So enjoy this slideshow of what I was trying to show you when I recorded the audio. Alright then, I think it's finally time for us to see what that new recipe that I acquired earlier was. First of all, we go past all these things that I've never crafted. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Ooh, golden lollipop. Golden apple and 6 sugar. Strunk knows a 6 sugar theme. Let me gather these resources quickly. Alright then, let's see what this thing is about. Thankfully I have this giant shulker box of gold from the gold farm there, but, you know, let's see what this is about. So, golden lollipop. Okay. It's like a golden apple plus a bit of haste and speed. Interesting. This seems like it'd be more valuable to put at the candy store. In which case means I'll need to craft a lot of it, which is a good thing I've got this much gold. Should do a decent amount of these. Okay, so this is minorly embarrassing. It appears like the last I may have had to cut out a clip there due to OBS deciding, nah, we don't need to continue actually capturing what's on the screen. This static image of what your screen used to have on it is fine. So, yeah, anyhow, I made a bunch of the golden lollipops, and now we're here at the candy store with them being on sale now. 16 for 2 diamonds, which is the same price as the candy apples. I mean, I guess the gold's not really worth too much. It's more that the apples are worth the stuff, and the sugar. I mean, to be fair, that is kind of right, because I do got a lot of gold, but, you know, the gold farm is breaking down right now, so... Okay, so I finally managed to capture a replay of the breaking event happening, and the cause is a motherfucking chicken jockey right there. It lands on the carpet here and decides, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to, or I guess it doesn't actually land on the carpet, because it floats down and then decides to keep moving forwards into the track. This is the whole freaking reason why this farm keeps breaking. Because this happens, and then that causes carts to get bunched up and break. Now the reason why this is very annoying is because the only way for a chicken jockey, I think, to actually be able to survive to the point where it can fall down, because mind you, magma blocks do damage a chicken, and I have, on occasion, actually managed to find the, you know, remains of a chicken on these platforms. I don't know if there are any in the replay right now. Oh, there's one. See? They don't survive long on the platforms. So the only way that a chicken could actually survive is if it spawns in the first couple of rows here. So, how do I fix this problem? I don't know. There are a couple ideas that I might have for how we can fix it. One of them is just prevent the first couple of rows from being able to spawn chicken jockey, or just spawn anything, actually. So, you know, block off the first couple of rows from spawning so that hopefully a chicken will die before it reaches the end. Another option potentially would be to put powdered snow here. So instead of where it is right now, put the powdered snow in this layer right here. And then have the mobs sitting up a bit higher so that the chicken couldn't walk out onto the minecarts. But I don't know if the minecarts would be even able to pick up the entities then. I hope they would, but maybe they wouldn't. So I gotta do some testing in creative mode, then I guess I gotta retrofit this farm again to prevent the chickens from doing this. Although I'm pretty sure this is also a new thing, because I don't think this was happening the last time I built this farm. So this is definitely an AI change. Alright, so what I've ended up doing here is I've ended up just putting redstone on the outer or innermost two blocks of each spawning platform to prevent mobs from spawning there. Turns out carpets prevent mobs from being able to actually walk to the edge, so that's fun. But yeah, this should prevent the chicken jockeys from surviving until the drop, so hopefully I don't have to report any more failures. Alright, thankfully it does currently appear that the safety, or the new fix I've applied to the gold farm has in fact worked. And now that we're done with that, we can finally move on to doing other things. Now, I've been thinking, I'm a little bit worried about why the heck the altar gave me a very scary, very red, very bad sounding outcome today. So maybe it wasn't just about the sacrifice. Maybe I haven't been doing like enough stuff with the bait. Why is there a block missing here? Okay, that certainly isn't helping. I guess we could start by fixing that, but I was about to say, well, I mean, I have done a bunch of stuff at the base. I did this building, I did that building, this whole, you know, section is now grass, but maybe it wants me to do more, so why don't I, like, make a kind of a border wall. It's, you know, not really a border wall in, like, the IRL sense, but, you know, a little bit of, I guess, a trim around the outside so it doesn't just look like platform of city starts, you know, a defining boundary. I kind of got something that I've been thinking of for this, so why don't I just build that, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, here's what the wall is looking like from a distance here. Definitely better than that, you know, bare side of the things. Now, over here, mind you, I did have to not put this stair in, due to the fact that this is where the path to get there is. Eventually, what I want to do is I want to have a path coming, or an actual, like, a staircase coming right off the path there to come up here, but, obviously, not yet. For now, there's a wall here, and the wall will have to be adjusted a little bit to accommodate this. But yeah, this is what the wall looks like from this side. Pretty simple stuff. It's more meant to be viewed from a distance over here. As you can see, it looks relatively decent. Haven't gone around the corner yet, but of course, you know, I'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, I mean, for now, this corner of the base, I guess I will say that is finished. But obviously, I'm not done expanding the base this way and that way, so I will definitely keep on working that towards that cannot speak. All right, there is the other wall there, completely finished. Now, the sewer does look a little bit awkward down there, and I'm not going to do anything about that because it's not really possible to, and I just don't care, frankly. But yeah, I think this is massive improvement on the way the base outwardly looks at this time. And with that, hopefully whatever spirit that we're praying to here has been appeased. And I will then have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe. Check out my game, which is linked in the description. And I will see you all in the next episode of Coolcraft Season 7. Bye!